And now we're going to make our nut milk, nutritious nut milk. Here we have our almonds that have been soaked for about 8 hours. And you know, when you have a seed or a nut and you soak it for more than 8 hours, it begins to regenerate and it becomes even more nutritious because it starts to activate that life force in it. It wants to grow into a tree. So when we use sprouted seeds and nuts, we're having even more nutrition, adding double nutrition than we would usually. And many times you cut down on the fat as well because it begins to lower the fat amount in the food as well, and it brings up the nutrients. So what we have here with our sprouted almonds, we also have some agave nectar to sweeten the milk if you so choose, and a pinch of salt. You always, when you're going to sweeten something, you always add a little bit of salt to balance it out. You notice how if you leave the salt out, there's quite a difference there. Try it and experiment for yourself so you can see the difference. And right here we have 2 cups of water inside of our blender because that's what we're going to use to grind up the nuts and create this delicious milk. A lot of people are actually quite sensitive to soy products, so this is a wonderful alternative. So no, you're not limited with just soy. So what I'm going to do here is grind these nuts up, and usually it takes about 2 minutes to get it to the point where it is a milk, and then we're going to strain it here. I have this bowl, and then I'm going to strain it through this colander through some cheesecloth. And depending on how thick you like your milk or how thin you like your milk, you'd add more cheesecloth or less. So I'm going to start this and grind. And there we are, it's done. It's all ground up. We have a thick, frothy milk. And if you like, you could use this for a smoothie. It's thick and it's rich. It's got, you know, the fiber left over from the nuts. And so what we're going to do now is pour this in here. And we're going to strain it because we want to use it for a little bit of a thinner, because we're going to create a chai tea that's made with this almond nut milk. So we want it a little bit thinner. And there's a lot that you can do with this leftover pulp too. We don't have to waste anything. That's the beautiful thing about the raw food lifestyle, is that you don't waste anything. You see, we're getting that rich milk. Almonds have a great deal of fat, so it's actually quite good for you, good fat. Now when we've squeezed all the milk out of here, we'll be able to use this pulp to make raw cookies. We'll be able to dehydrate it and allow it to be used for pie crusts, like that cobbler that we made before. It can be used for many things. It can be used to thicken sauces. And it's all good, it's all nutritious. Now that we've strained our almond milk, we're going to pour it back in the blender. Look at that rich, healthful milk. It's raw, it's living, and it's just delicious. Oh, it smells good too. And we're going to add our little bit of agave nectar because we want it just a little bit sweeter. There we are. And agave nectar is excellent. It's even very good for diabetics because it's very low on the glycemic index for diabetes. It's incredible, but make sure it's organic blue agave nectar. And as I said, we want to add a little bit of salt to balance out that sweetness. So we just run it through the blender just a little bit more. And that's it. And at this point you could add carob or cocoa or whatever flavorings you want. You could create a smoothie. You could put a banana in there, some strawberries, some more healthy food for the mind, body, and soul, and it's just that simple.